going to talk about the solution today. Brother Reynolds, you need a solution? All right, some people need solutions, man. People on that SNAP benefits, they need a solution. People who's on that Social Security, they need a solution. You got to go in that office and wait for 5 hours just for them to tell you no. And so a lot of us need solutions. We're going to talk about the solution today. Amen. As always, the scripture is going to be up there. There are a lot. But don't you worry, you're not going to be here all day. You can take a screenshot of that if you'd like. There you go. I like that. You can screenshot that. You can even take a picture and grab the text and put it in a notepad to write notes later. Amen. Everybody can see that we're good to go. Proverbs, going to be some great reading in Proverbs. Just wait until you see that Psalms, man. That Psalms is going to be amazing. And Matthew on the end going to bring it home for us. Amen. Let me know when you guys are ready to go. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Amen. We ready? All right, let's go. In life, there are very few hard problems. I know you guys would disagree with that, but in life, there's actually very few hard problems. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. Every problem has an easy solution, Janine. The issue is usually, are you willing to do what it takes to perform the solution? All right, let's talk about it. If you have a money problem, the simple solution is you need to find a way to make more than you spend. That's a simple solution. And if you have marital problems, they can be easily fixed by treating your spouse the way you want to be treated. And that would fix any relationship. I don't like to get cheated on, so I'm not going to cheat on you. I like love and affection, so I'm going to give you love and affection. Any relationship could be easily fixed. And then, guess what? Anybody, y'all like, man, that's too easy. Give me a hard one. How about world hunger? World hunger could easily be fixed. You guys like, how? Well, let me tell you. I went to the UN website, United Nations. United Nations said that, I got that quote, that world hunger could end by 2030, and it would just cost $93 billion a year. And just so you know, that's well under the $21 trillion spent on military budgets over the past decade. In other words, if they took less than 1% of the military budget, the whole world could eat. That's all I'm telling you. It's an easy solution, and I got an even easier one. Here's this thing. If all the billionaires, there's about 3,000 billionaires in the world. If all the billionaires in the world gave up 1% of their wealth, everybody could eat. You know how much money that is? That's about $158 billion. Ain't nobody going to miss 1%. What am I saying? I'm not saying they're greedy. I'm saying there's an easy solution to every problem. There's an easy solution to every problem. The solution for money and marriages and world hunger is simple. But the question is, are we willing to do it? And obviously, the government is not willing to do it. And obviously, them billionaires are not willing to do it. There's a saying that goes around. You got that saying, Taylor? There's a saying that goes around that what is easy to do is also easy not to do. You ever heard that? That is a quote from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, you ever heard of him? It means that the simple, beneficial actions like reading, exercising, or saving money require discipline because they're just as easy to skip as they are easy to do. And this consists of basically two choices between two easies. It's easy to do something well, and it's also easy not to do it. Your destiny is shaped by which easy you choose. Which easy you choose. Success isn't about overcoming huge hurdles, but about consistency, doing the simple things that compound over time. In other words, if you want to lose weight, you don't have to lose weight overnight. But guess what? It's just as easy to not eat as it is to eat. It's just as easy to not eat that cake as it is to eat that cake. It's just as easy to go to bed on time as it is to stay up all night. It's just as easy to pay your bills on time as it is to go spend that money on something else. Which easy? Which easy would you like to choose? Let's talk about that. Give me the definition to it. The solution definition is very easy. It just means it is a means of solving a problem. Or here's the big one most people don't think about. It is a means of dealing with a difficult situation. So sometimes a solution does not always solve the problem, but is a means of dealing with the problem. So let's go. So stop thinking about your problems. There's a song that says, don't tell God about your problems. Tell your problems about your God. Stop thinking about your problems and start thinking about solutions, because solutions are actually easy. The only question is, are you willing to do it? The solution is very easy. So stop thinking about your problems. Don't think about your problems. Start being solution-minded. They say that millionaires become millionaires and billionaires because they don't focus on their problems. They're thinking on solving problems, and then they monetize that ability to solve someone's problem. I want you and I to know, Sister Trevor, people are going to get mad at this one, that God is not the answer to all of your problems. I know you've heard that in church. I'm going to come on down a little bit, talk to y'all. I know you heard that in church. I know you've seen that, but God is not the answer to all your problems. You like, prove it. Well, God is not the answer to your obesity. You're not going to pray and God take the weight off you. He is not the answer. Matter of fact, he's not even the answer to your poverty. You know what the answer to your poverty is? Financial literacy. God is not the answer to all the problems. I know we have lumped him in. God is the problem to your sin situation. God is the is the solution to your sin situation. He is the solution to your broken heart. But guess what? He is not the solution to every one of your problems. Y'all like, prove it. Don't worry, I got you. We're going to talk about this. God is solution. He's the solution to your heart problems. And I want to let you guys know that the only problem that you still have left is your heart. That's the only problem you got left. You know what? God already came down here, Ray. He took care of sin. He has solved sin for everybody in the world. Matter of fact, he said he took away the sins of the world. Sin is solved. It is solved. The only thing that is not solved is your heart's condition. And guess what? It's easy. Don't worry, I'm going to help y'all. It's easy. We just got to be willing to do it. The only variable that we have left is will we give God our hearts? It's the only question left. Man, sin's been defeated. Believe it or not, every single problem you can think of has already been defeated. It just depends on what your heart says about it. We have dominion. God gave us dominion. He gave us power. He gave us authority to speak over evil spirits. Man, they got no power over us. We can control these animals. We got dominion over everything down here. The one thing left, Bell, is will you give your heart to me? And that's the big problem, because a lot of our problems come from our hearts. Everybody, I'm not jumping on the obese people, but anybody who's overweight, you didn't start that way. You had to gradually get that way. Anybody who's broke, you didn't necessarily start that way. Anybody with bad credit, you didn't start that way. Anybody with a bald head, you didn't start that way. So in other words, man, something had to happen over time for you to get that way. And most of our problems have come from our hearts. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Proverbs here. I'm going to give you a little background. A lot of Proverbs is written as instruction to a son or to a child. That's how Solomon chose to do it. And obviously, God is the father, and we are the children. So that is the narrative that we're going to talk about today. So Proverbs is a must read. If you want to be wise, Brother Reynolds, you want to read Proverbs. front to back. Solomon got a lot of wisdom. Solomon done probably everything that you could ever want to do. He didn't have many wives. He been rich. He been poor. He didn't have the best. He didn't have the finest. He's seen the worst. Man, he has interacted with every single kind of woman you could ever think of. Man, if you want some wisdom, Solomon is the guy you want to talk to. You can talk to him in Proverbs. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Proverbs chapter 4. Starting at the 5th verse, it says, get wisdom and get some understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. This is God talking here. Forsake her not. He is personifying wisdom as a woman. Forsake her not. She will preserve thee. Love her. She will keep thee. Keep it going, bro. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. With all thy getting, get what? Come on, understanding. Exalt her. Who? Wisdom. And she shall promote thee. Wisdom's going to promote you. She shall bring thee to honor. Wisdom's going to bring you to honor when thou dost embrace her. In other words, man, you need to get this wisdom that Solomon is talking about. Jump down to verse 20. We're going to talk about the text today. He says, my son, that's us, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst, where? Of thine heart. Okay, let's go. For they are life unto those that find them. What are the words that he's talking about? They are life to those that find them. And what? Health, come on, to all their flesh. God's words are health to all of our flesh. Verse 23 is the kicker. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Every issue that you have right now came from your heart. In case you didn't know, every issue that you have right now came from your heart. What issues? Well, if you have some good issues, God's truth, love, wisdom, peace, joy, but sometimes bitterness, envy, lust, deceit, and worldly thoughts can come from your heart. So that's why Solomon said, you know what? Pay attention to my words. If I had any advice I could give to the young people of this generation, it would be to keep thy heart with all diligence. Protect that thing, because if you give it to the wrong person, they're going to tear you up. If you let the wrong stuff come in, you're going to be polluted, and you're going to start looking like the world. So keep your heart. Keep your innocence. Protect your heart, because once it gets polluted, it's going to bring a whole bunch of issues into your life. The Bible says that it is wicked, desperately wicked, and no man can know it. So you got to protect that heart with all diligence, man. He said, man, in other words, you better be a soldier and protect that heart. People talking about protecting their peace bell. You better protect your heart. Because guess what? That's the only problem we got left, y'all. Sin ain't a problem no more. It used to be, but it ain't a problem no more. That's the only problem we have left. So you better protect that heart. An unguarded heart becomes a source of contamination. And all of the people, unfortunately, all the young ladies and all the young men that you see walking around saying the wrong things and dressing inappropriately, speaking improperly, their hearts have been contaminated. Guess what? They're not horrible people. They're not disgusting beings. They're just contaminated. Where? In their hearts. It leads to apathy and distance from God. But a guarded heart aligns with God's purpose, becoming a source of resilience, purpose, and blessing. In other words, we better learn how to keep our heart. And guess what? If you haven't kept your heart and you got some issues already in your heart, don't worry. I got a plan for you. We're going to work that out. We're going to work that out. So your heart is the solution to all of your problems. I want you to know that today. Your heart is the solution to all of your problems. Once you fix your heart, you're not going to have no more problems. You're like, but I'm sick. God said, you know what? He is the solution. He gonna give you a solution. Sometimes your sickness ain't going to get healed, but but he's going to give you a way to deal with it. So the solution to all your problems is going to come from your heart. Guess what? How you feel and view that sickness can help you get through that sickness. But if you are Chicken Little, sky's falling, and you're taking every piece of medicine you can find, man, you're going to be in trouble. But if you are able to bear down with some diligence, knowing God, I can trust God to help me get through this sickness, man, it's going to be the answer to all your problems. Don't worry. I'm trying to help y'all out. I don't want nobody to leave here with no more problems. Let's go. Some of you have loved people you never should have because you did not keep your heart. And you fell in love with them, and they took you through the ringer. And guess what? After you finally get out the ringer, guess what? They changed you forever. And now your beautiful heart is now damaged and hurt. And now the next person, man, got to go through an obstacle course just to get a smile out of you. Because why, man? That first person ran you through the ringer, and you're not the same. Now you're guarded. Now you're protected. Now you have that wounded heart. Really, man, you're trying to protect that heart over everything, so you're just trying to keep everybody away. Bible calls that, believe it or not, a hard heart. So I'm trying to tell you, man, the solution to all your problems, I'm about to give it to you today. Your anger issues and your lack of self-control, your intention to deceive people comes from your heart. There's some people who really want to help people. There's other people who really want to get helped by people and take advantage of them. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. But guess what? God wants us to know, man, he can help you solve your problems today. Let's go. The Bible warns us to avoid these kind of hearts. Don't worry, I'm going to go through them. He tells us to avoid these kind of hearts. And we're about to hit some popcorn scriptures for you. He told us to avoid a double heart. He told us to avoid a hard heart. He told us to avoid a proud heart. He told us to avoid an unbelieving heart. He told us to avoid a cold heart, and he told us to avoid an unclean heart. He said, you know what? Everybody who got one of these hearts, their problem is not sin. Their problem is not a horrible mindset. Their problem is they got a difficult heart. They got a cold. Some people got double hearts. What's that mean? Y'all got it. That means that they are uncommitted. They're just they'll just tell you anything to go with that situation. In other words, they are those flattering lip people. I tell you anything you want to hear to get anything I want. Some people got them hard hearts. They think they're protecting themselves, but what they're really doing is stiffening and hardening. They're trying to be unchangeable. I won't let nobody ever again, Sister Michelle, come in and get to my heart. All right, let's go. Some people, man, got that unbelieving heart. They can see it in their face. You read it to them. They have felt the Spirit of God. And guess what, man? I just won't believe. Some people got those cold hearts. The Bible says that, you know what? The love of many is going to wax cold. Some people got cold. Man, we have no love for humanity anymore. I can see you struggling, and I'm going to go ahead and roll my window up, turn my heat on, and keep on driving right past you. My heart is now cold. I'm trying to help y'all out, man. We got to solve all y'all problems. You got them popcorn scriptures to here? Psalms, let's go. We're going to run through them quick. It says, help, Lord. This is Psalms 12:1. It says, help, Lord, for the godly man ceases. David talking to y'all. He said, help, Lord, for the godly man ceases. He said, you know what? For the faithful fail among the children of men. In other words, man, he's in a situation where the righteous people are failing. He said, help, Lord. Verse 2, he said, guess what? They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor. In other words, they are lying to each other. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. I'm trying to help y'all out, man. He said, you know what? The godly man ceases, Ray, and the faithful are fallen from among the children of men. These people who used to be faithful, guess what? They are trying to get me with lies and flattering lips. Flattery is, in case you guys didn't know, flattery is one of the greatest psychological weapons there is against humans. You know why? Because everybody likes to hear what they want to hear. And so even if they know it ain't true, how you look today? Oh, you look great, girl. You know you look tore up, but man, you want to hear, I look great. So even if it's a lie, guess what? You're going to gravitate to it. And so that's why flattery can mess you up. He said, flattering lips with a double heart. A heart, the translation actually means a heart and a heart, meaning they have no allegiance and will change. That's like the generation today. They have really no allegiance to anybody. They'll change in a minute. I'm going to get with you. We're going to be together. And then 6 months later, I'm trying to divorce you and take half. Or, man, I tell you I love you. And then 6 months later, I'm on to the next one. That's that heart and a heart. No commitment, no allegiance. Just tell you what you want to hear so I can get what I want, and I'm on to the next heart. David said, I had to deal with that. Proverbs 21:4. He said, you know what? A high look and a proud heart and the plowing of the wicked is what? In case you guys didn't know, a proud heart is instant sin. You want instant oatmeal? That's some instant sin right there. That proud heart. Be careful. He said, keep that heart. You don't want a proud heart. Guess what? Because you an instant sin. 28, Tyler, give me that. It says, happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. So guess what? All the people who think they protecting their hearts, Ray, they only falling into mischief. All the people's like, man, I got to wall myself in to protect myself. Guess what? Mischief is coming your way. And guess what? You falling into it. Give me that Hebrews. Hebrews 3, it says, 12, it says, take heed, brethren. Now, this is Paul talking to his brethren. So we're talking about saved people right here. Lest there be in any of you what? An evil heart of what? Unbelief in departing from the living God. Verse 13, but exhort one another daily, Christians, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through what? Okay, deceitfulness of sin. So be careful, even you saved folk, even you Christians and believers, be careful lest there be in any of you an unbelieving heart. It's going to cause you to depart from the living God. Ain't nobody exempt. Matthew 24, Tara, I want to make sure we get this going. It says, and because, this is Paul, Jesus is talking here, and because iniquity shall abound, that's the key, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Because I've been scammed by giving them panhandlers my money, I won't ever give a panhandler another piece of my money. Because everybody's wicked and rude, I'm not going to stop and help nobody. Because, man, people done me dirty, because it says the iniquity has abounded, because people are evil and rude and nasty. Guess what? Now my love and my heart is waxing cold. Jesus is talking right now. And finally, brother David going to talk to us in Psalms. He says, you know what? Create in me a clean heart. Why? Because the one I got right now is unclean. I didn't took somebody's husband. I took somebody's wife. I didn't took someone's I hurt the husband, and I hurt her dad. I have, because back in those days that was a punishable offense by death. You take somebody's wife, you died. And so David said, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. In other words, the heart that I have right now is unclean. It's causing me to want what I should not want. And guess what? David was able to solve his problem. When he turned his heart, he was a man after God's own heart. When he turned his heart back to God, guess what? He didn't have no more problems with adultery. He ain't had no more problems. Matter of fact, the only thing that he had a problem with after that was the sword never leaving his house. So he had that curse. But guess what? God said his grace is sufficient for him. He was able to deal with that curse. He was on the run for a while, and finally he was able to rest until he found his final resting place. I'm trying to help y'all out. Whatever your issue is, it is a simple solution. You know what the simple solution is? Check your heart. Check your heart. Check your heart. We must find where the corruption and contamination is. If you are walking around angry every day, trust me, it ain't no one else's problem but yours. It's your heart. Something in your heart got you angry. It could have been past abuse. It could have been neglect. It could have been something, but something in your heart is making you angry. And you're never going to solve that anger pointing the finger over there. You know how you can solve all your problems? Deal with that heart. All right, let's go. The deceitfulness of sin has changed our hearts. Most of us did not even recognize it because sin deceived us into thinking that those thoughts and feelings that we had were our own. One of the easiest tricks that the enemy uses to get people who have been hurt is he comes in like he is a comforter. I'm going to talk now. He comes in like he's a comforter. And what he does is he starts to speak in your mind, and you think it's you trying to protect yourself, keep yourself, preserve yourself, but he really starts to speak into your mind. Don't trust them. Don't be around them. Stay away from them. And he's talking about the people who can help you. I don't want to be hurt again, Sister Connors. So I can't go back to that church because last church I was with, the pastor slept with somebody and messed me up. So now I can't go to churches anymore because I don't trust pastors no more. I don't trust people of confidence anymore. So you know what, man? I'm church hurt and I'm going to stay away from those. That's the enemy talking in your ear. Preserve yourself by staying away. That's what he's saying. Preserve yourself by staying away. And don't trust them ever again. That's that hard-hearted person. It's that hard-hearted person. Let's go. I'm going to talk about Matthew. Here is the scripture text we're going to dive into here pretty deep. Matthew chapter 15, verse 16. All right, here we go. And Jesus said, man, Jesus be hitting them, man. Jesus said, are ye also yet without understanding? Man, don't you understand? So they were talking to him about people eating stuff and defiling them. They said, you know what? Your disciples and the people with you don't wash their hands when they eat. And Jesus came back when he said, you know what? Are you out without understanding? Verse 17. Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth at the mouth goeth into the belly and is cast out in the draught. In other words, it's digested and eliminated. That's what he's saying here. Verse 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come from where? So everything, what the help y'all? Every time you open up your mouth, Bell, where's it coming from? All right. So you can't say, I didn't mean that, because guess what? Your heart did. So you can't ever say that again. Jesus then took away all your excuses. He said, you know what? Those things that proceed out your mouth come from the heart, and those are the things that defile a man. Those are the things that make you unclean. Verse 19 says, for out of the heart proceedeth what? Evil thoughts, murderers. I know y'all didn't think about that. Out of the heart proceed murderers, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemy. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. Jesus was not trying to tell y'all to be unclean, but he was trying to teach them a lesson. You know why? Because they was always trying to trip him up. Man, don't y'all hate people like that who's always, man, you could be saying 99 right things. They're going to focus on that one that you said wrong. Always trying to trip you up. So Jesus said, you know what? Forget about them unwashed hands. Let's talk about your heart. Because everything that you say is coming from your heart. And so when you mean to your husband, that's coming from your heart. And when you rude to your parents, that's coming from your heart. And when you use that sign language when somebody cuts you off, that's coming from your heart. He said, you know what? Murderers come from your heart. Ain't that what he said? Murderers come from your heart. Those are the things that proceeded out. Adulteries, in other words, your adultery and your fornications happen because your heart got entangled. In other words, Jesus is trying to tell us, man, I can help you solve all your problems. Stop pointing the fingers at everyone else and start looking inside your heart. See if there's anything in your heart that's not like me. See if there's anything in your heart that you're desiring, something that you should not have. If there is, guess what? That is the reason why you still got problems. If you, like Paul said, you know what? I mean, so like Solomon said, if you are the person who loves luxuries, he said, you're going to be poor. That comes from what? Your heart. Why? Because you didn't saw that Mercedes-Benz commercial, and now you got to have one. So in other words, man, that's why he said, keep your heart. I'm not telling you guys to be the bubble boy walking around here, but you got to protect your heart. You can't let everything come in, because guess what? Then you're going to attach some feelings to it. You can't hear everything, because then you're going to attach some feelings to it. Your heart's going to get involved. And if I was a dad telling my daughter advice today, I would tell her this. I would tell her, before you get entangled or close to someone, do your homework on them. See how they act with other people. Because guess what? When they with you, that flattery going to come out, Belle. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. That flattery going to come out. But do your homework. See how they treat their parents. See how they treat their friends. See how they interact with people. See how friendly they are by nature. See if they have a resting mean face. But then when they with you, they smiling all in your face. Man, do your homework. Why? Because you don't want to get your heart involved. Because once your heart involved, you're going to have all kind of issues. Man, I know he don't have no job and he got 4 other babies, but man, I just love him. See, that happens when your heart's involved. But guess what? When your heart not involved, you're like, oh, that dude's a bum. I ain't hanging out with him. I'm trying to help somebody now. Man, don't let your heart get involved. And that's why God don't want people to be connecting casually, sexually, because then your heart's going to get involved. God's trying to help you and solve all your issues. So keep your heart, because we don't want these things to start proceeding out. Because once they come out, then that's when we have all the issues that we have. Your love of luxury is the reason why you will choose a purse and some shoes over your bills. Guess what? You don't have a money problem. You got a heart problem. You got a heart problem. And so all your bad habits, all your poor habits, and all your moral failures simply have to do with your heart. God said, you know what? Out of the heart, all the issues of life. So every single issue that you and I have started with your heart and is perpetuated by your heart. So if you want to solve every single issue you have, what you got to start with? Your heart. Deal with your heart. Man, if I have broken relationship and I'm mad at my ex, guess what? You got to deal with that. In case you guys didn't know, unforgiveness will poison you. Man, they ain't went on with their life. They got married again, got other kids. And you still sitting there mad and upset, and your heart is poisoned. God's trying to say, you know what? If you want to solve your problems, start with your heart. Guess what? It's the same thing we said in the beginning. It's just as easy to as not to. All you got to do is want to deal with it. Who wants all their problems to be solved? You want your problem solved, Bill? I'm talking about all of them. I'm not talking about not one problem left in your life. Focus on your heart, Brother Reynolds. You ain't got to run and shout. And guess what? You ain't even got to fast and pray on this one. What you got to do is focus on what's in my heart. Why am I mad? Why am I sad? Why am I depressed? Why am I want to fight all the time? And you can solve all your problems. Jesus said, you know what? They're making us unclean. He used the word defile. So they're defiling us. So if you're doing drugs or drinking to dull the pain, you don't have a drinking problem. You got a heart problem. I'm drinking. Why? Because I don't want to feel this pain. Well, guess what? You're going to keep on drinking as long as you got the pain. So the solution is, let me figure out why I got this pain. Man, something happened along the way. Somebody hurt me. Something happened in my life that caused me to have this pain. So instead of turning to the bottle, put Jim Beam down for a second and talk to that heart. So guess what? Then I ain't got to spend my money and waste my money buying spirits. I ain't got to spend my money buying weed. Matter of fact, that's going to solve two problems. That's going to solve my heart problem and my money problem. So I'm trying to help y'all out. Man, if you have unresolved issues, unresolved pain, if you had molestation or abuse from before, you have to deal with it. Deal with it. And guess what? The solution is not that the other person dies. The solution is, guess what? I have the capacity through God to deal with this difficult situation. Because guess what? Sometimes the people who hurt you are never going to apologize. They never going to call you up and say, Bill, I was wrong. Matter of fact, they're going to look at you like you did something wrong. And you got to be the big enough person to say, you know what? My solution is I'm going to deal with it and let it go. So when they look at me mean, I'm going to smile at them and I got no reaction, no feeling. Why? Because I have forgiven and moved on and my heart is good now. Guess what? You can't control me no more. I done solved you. God trying to help us, man. He's trying to help us. You about to solve all your problems. Unforgiveness poisons your heart. And guess what? Then the poison comes out. And there's many examples of that. There's plenty of women and men who had bad relationships. And then they say, what they tell you? Don't get married. You can't trust them women. You can't trust them men. Poison. Speaking now. You know what? You can't trust them men. Matter of fact, you know what? You better have a backup plan. You better save up some money. You better have your in case of emergency fund, just in case he ever leave you. Okay. I'm trying to help you. So poison has been coming out, and now our society as a whole is poison. Why? Because most people have hard, unrepentant, unbelieving hearts. I told you before, marriage is absolutely perfect and wonderful. People are the problems. If everybody did what they were supposed to do in marriage, we wouldn't have not one marital problem. If I treated you like I wanted to be treated, guess what? We had the best relationship in the world. But the problem is, guess what? Our hearts come in. And my past, I'm bringing into our relationship. And guess what? Since you're a man and you look like the man who hurt me, guess what? Now you my problem. I'm trying to help y'all. Man. That's how it happens. Relationships don't have problems. People have problems. And we bring our problems into the relationship. And guess what? Our hearts get involved. And now we entangled in this situation. And guess what? This person who you married and love so much, they connected to your problems. God says, I'm trying to help y'all. I didn't already solve the biggest problem in your life. That is sin. Now y'all got to get with the program and deal with that heart. Man, I'm trying to tell you, it's easy. Y'all like, no, it's not. Well, let me help you. It's easy. All you have to do is want to. Tell me one thing that's hard that you want to do. Things are hard when you don't want to do them. That's what my kids used to tell me all the time. Man, it's going to take too much time to clean up. Then I'm not going to have any time left. Man, it's not hard. It's just about, do you want to do it or not? So God's trying to help you understand, man, you can do it. You can literally solve all of your problems. Let me help you out. If you want to be rich, then you need to get up on your financial literacy. You ain't got to pray to God. You go find some financial literacy help. Why? Because God did not come here to solve the financial problems of the world. He said, you know what? The poor are going to always be with you. I didn't come down here to solve that. I didn't come down here to solve world hunger. I came out here to deal with sin. That's my focus. I came down here to bring salvation to everybody. Guess what? The rest of that stuff, I gave y'all dominion. Y'all take care of that. You take care of that. Matter of fact, he said, you know what? You take care of the things you can take care of. When I was naked, when I was hungry, you didn't take care of me. Why? He didn't say, man, I was supposed to do those things. You were supposed to do those things. So guess what? If you gave someone dominion, like he gave us, don't you think that that person should be able to take care and do the things that they're supposed to do? You wouldn't want to give dominions and come back and say, Bell, do this. Bell, do that. No, Bell, I gave you dominion. Take care of your house. Take care of my house. Take care of this situation. I'm not going to come back down and help you do what you know you can do. And guess what? We can do solving our heart problems. We don't need God to do what he already equipped and accomplished inside of us. He said, I took away your sin. That's what you couldn't fix. Now that that's fixed, go after your heart. Sit down sometimes, be quiet, and listen and understand what's really going on with yourself. Sometimes we just try to drown it out by all this content that we're consuming. Sit down, be quiet, and see how you feel. If you sit down by yourself and you are unhappy, you need to deal with that. Because guess what? There ain't enough memes to solve your problem. There ain't enough to solve your problems. I know there's a lot going on, but there ain't enough to solve your problem. Sit down by yourself. Be quiet. And if you're if the thoughts in your head just keep running and you don't like them thoughts, you know where to start. Man, I don't feel good about myself. Well, guess what? That's where you start. Why don't you feel good about yourself? Work on that. Hey, maybe I don't like my appearance. Well, change it, Dominionaires. Don't just say, I can't do it. Change it. I don't like who I am. Well, change it. God ain't coming down to change your appearance. He ain't coming down to change what he already gave you and I to do. Subdue it. He said, bring every thought into captivity, even your insecure thoughts, even your self-deprecating thoughts, even your I'm not good enough thoughts, even the nobody likes me thoughts. He said, bring those into captivity and obedience to Christ. In other words, them things need to shut on up and deal with your heart. And then guess what? Start giving your heart what to say. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You know what? Perfection made me. I am great. Perfection made me. But if we never deal with our heart and we keep accepting what it is saying, you're going to always have issues. And God sent this message. I'm done, y'all. God sent this message to help y'all out today, to help you understand, man, that you can solve all your problems. And guess what? You ain't got to pay a therapist $235 an hour. You can sit down with yourself, be still, and be quiet, and figure out what's in your heart. And then guess what? Start working on it. And then guess what? God is there to help you. He ain't going to leave you by yourself now. But he's there to give you the wisdom and knowledge to understand what's really going on with yourself. Because a lot of us, most people in the world, and I mean most people in the world, are just running from their problems. And they run from one problem to the next. And then they run away from that problem back to the first problem, and then through that problem to another problem. If you sit down, get focused on your heart, you can start solving some of your problems. Let's go. I got one more thing for you. If you are currently in habitual sin, you ain't got to raise your hand, but God knows. If you are currently in habitual sin, just know that something in your heart is keeping you in that cycle. Something in your heart is keeping you in that cycle. Whatever it is, something in your heart is keeping you in that cycle. And you and I have to identify that. Because guess what? Most people, when they get to a certain part of sin, they don't even want to do it no more, but it becomes almost like muscle memory, and they've been doing it so long that they don't even get the same satisfaction out of it, but they still keep on doing it. And so if you have a lust for something that you know you shouldn't, that's where you need to start. If you have a lust for someone else's husband, that's where you start. That's not going to end well. If you have a lust for someone else's wife, man, that's where you start. Guess what? Sin is not your purpose or your destiny. God created no one to sin, not even Satan. He said, you know what? You was perfect in all your ways until iniquity was found in you. Everybody here and everything was created for God's good pleasure, and that does not include sin. So sin is not your purpose. And the only way that you and I are going to get deliverance is God's way. You cannot do it your way. I know there's therapy, there's therapists, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's rehabs. Those things are great and wonderful. But the only way you're going to get deliverance is God's way. That might include some therapy, but make sure you do it God's way. And the only way to happiness is God's way. The only way to recovery is God's way. Your comeback story starts with you following God's way to fix your life. And what is that? To deal with that heart. Now, I promise you, if you have not kept your gates and there's already bad things in your heart, you're contaminated, how do you solve that? Let's talk about it. Well, the first thing is you have to identify. Identify what's in your heart. The second thing is you have to figure out whether it's avoidable. Okay, you got to figure out whether it's avoidable or if it's perpetual. What do I mean? So some things are like an eating habit. Obviously, you have to eat, so you can't just stop eating. But if eating is my problem, then now I got to do with some temperance. I got to do with some self-control. That's a different function as something I can just cut off completely. Like some things I can cut off completely. Lying, I can cut that off completely. I don't need lying to survive. But some things you need them, so it's going to be a different type of exercise because you have to exercise some temperance and rebuild some walls where you used to didn't have any. So that's a different story. But either way, God is there to help you every step of the way. Guess what? He made you, and he knows your heart better than you and I. So once you identify that, then you got to come up with a plan God's way. You cannot figure, I'm going to do this on my own. It's got to be God's way. Let God tell you how to fix those things. Guess what? Bible says in Psalms 147, he will heal the brokenhearted. So if your problem is a broken heart, guess what? He is there to heal it. But guess what? You got to do the work to acknowledge it and say, hey, God, my heart's broken. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. This person did this. This person did that. I don't know how to solve this. Okay, great. Guess what? God says, I do. And he's going to give you the steps. It may come through prayer. It may come through fasting. It may come through reading your word. It may come through with spending some time with yourself and rediscovering yourself. Don't limit God. Guess what? Before there was a Bible, there was God. Before there was prayer, there was God. Before there was fasting, there was God. So he knows everything. He created us. He knows everything. Give him a chance. Man, I hear that in my heart. Some people ain't giving God a chance, man. We'll give alcohol a chance. We'll give weed a chance. We'll give sex a chance. Give God a chance. And let him help you solve your problems. The old church used to say it like this. He's a heart fixer and a mind regulator. Y'all heard that? Man, he's a heart fixer. God is a heart fixer. He wants to fix your heart. He don't want you to have that cold heart, that hard heart no more. He wants to fix it. When it comes to your heart work, let God lead the way. But guess what? Both of you guys going to do the work. He ain't going to leave you. He ain't going to leave you by yourself. He going to help you do the work. You got to be honest with yourself and work through difficult feelings and emotions. I'm not a therapist, but I'm trying to help you out today. You got to be honest with yourself. I am not happy because this man left me and I'm angry at him. Okay? We can't shout past that no more. Because your heart keep coming out. Every time you see a man, I can't stand him. It's coming out. Man, you listen to all them podcasts telling you that men ain't nothing. Next thing you know, you the champion for men ain't nothing. So God's trying to help you, man. You got to work through these difficult feelings and emotions. They may be difficult, but guess what? You can do it. He's there with you. If you hate somebody today, guess what? God can change your heart. But if you hate somebody, you got to acknowledge it. Stop acting like, oh, I love them. No, you hate them. Tell the truth to yourself and start working through that. Why do I hate them? What did they do to me? Okay, once I figure that out, man, how am I going to get through this? I cannot keep walking through life hating people. So what am I going to do? God says, I know what you can do. Give your heart and mind to me. Let me talk to you. Let me show you what healing looks like. Guess what? There's been many people in the Bible who was abused and beat and hurt, and they were able to forgive. Able to forgive. I'm going to wrap it up with this. Acknowledge the truth about your heart. And this is how God fixes your heart. Once you acknowledge the truth, if you have a hard heart, acknowledge it. If your heart is cold and you don't have the same compassion you used to have for humanity, acknowledge it. If you have an unbelieving heart, you have a hard time getting to God through faith, acknowledge it. Guess what? He ain't going to beat you up. Some people might beat you up, but God's not going to beat you up. And then here's the thing. Childhood trauma and betrayal, esteem issues, negativity spoken into your life, all these things were meant to attack your heart. To attack your heart. And all the actions and all the people involved, God says, you know what? You got to let them go. Let them go. Guess because they had messed up hearts, and that's why they offended you. So you got to let them go and start focusing on the solution. We have talked enough about the problem. Let's start focusing on some solutions. I know my problem now. My problem is my heart. Now I know the solution too is fixing my heart. Solutions can either resolve the problem or give you a way to deal with the problem. And every solution, I'm trying to tell you, every solution is easy. Even them calculus solutions and geometry problems, guess what? The solution is actually easy. But are you willing to do the steps to get through them? You got to do that PEMDAS first. Parentheses come first. And then them exponents. Because if you use that multiplication first, you're going to get messed up. And it's really easy if you follow the plan. There's not one problem in this life, not even world hunger, that couldn't be solved really by tomorrow. I'm trying to help you out. Why? Because if you solve it in your heart, it's done. The results may take a little bit more time, but that solving in your heart is done. So today, Sister Trevor, God told you and told everybody in this church how to solve all your problems. All of your problems. So we can go home. We can go home and act like we're okay, or we can be honest with ourselves and work on a solution to all of our problems. You can solve your relationships today. I mean today. The question is, will you? Because it's just as easy to stay mad at that person as it is to reconcile with that person. So once again, are you willing to come through on the solution? Why? Because your heart needs a solution. God bless you.